Right, so hello again, and we're here now for your part 3 of your flat back series. We're going to use the glute band. If you don't have a glute band or you find it sufficient without, then that's perfectly fine. But this is part 3 of 3, and it's to try and get a grip on understanding how to take a very flattened lower back area that should be naturally curved, the lordosis, and allow it to find some range, safely and effectively, gradually rather than suddenly. We'll start with the squats as usual, the glute band obviously keeping your thighs slightly wider. I will change the view you get of me because I will be going into some side pushing and stepping back. Whichever way we go, now that you're on part 3, there should be a greater sense of what it is to find neutral even in your standing posture. Your breathing obviously is the first thing to help core connect the breathing muscles, which in turn changes the shape of the spine. Therefore, hopefully, by breathing in and out deeply, you get to rediscover a little bit more of a lordosis that's perfect for you. Put the fingers and the thumbs in place, so thumbs on last rib cage, fingertips on hip bones. Have enough tension on the band to know that your thighs are pulling out sideways. And go back to that breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you do your breathing, ground yourself through the heels and the outsides of your feet, and on the breath out, feel the pelvic floor draw up, and the tailbone tucks under, and the hip bones float upwards. Inhale into that even increased flatness, and exhaling, this is your moment to change. Allow that tailbone, that pelvis, those sit bones, to discover a greater range of movement in the lordosis, just 5 vertebrae there. Breathe in to that increase of curve, you'll feel it's massive. Breathing out, don't force anything, do find your pelvic floor. And slide the hip bones as if under your waistband, under the navel. You'll find that bit really easy. Breathe in. Exhaling, the ribs settle down. And you extend or increase the range of movement through the lower back. You breathe in again, and then stay with the next breath out, where you feel that you're perfectly aligned and not just completely flat, no pain. Try and keep that sense of where your pelvic position of neutral is, it's your neutral, and use your breathing in to take the posture down, honouring that natural lordosis. Kind of organise in your alignment of your posture type, and then go back as we did the last time into noticing the sit bones. I put my fingertips to my sit bones to get the sense of those sit bones back and don't secretly without me allowing them to tuck under. Stay down there this time, so your sit bones definitely feel connected to your hamstrings, otherwise the chances are you've tucked under if you can't feel that. And you've got your natural lordosis appearing with lots of effort from your tummy muscles. Exhale then and pelvic tilt with your pelvic floor, not with a bum squeeze. Breathe in to hydrate and sense the lower back stretching. Breathing out, let the sitting bones reach back to the neutral. Okay, from here then, if you feel comfortable, we'll take it to an increased range of movement in terms of end range. In other words, there's a greater attention to the sit bones, but you're keeping the breath. There's no point in any way trying to change a flat back posture or any posture shape, to be honest, without using breathing muscles. It's the breathing muscles that genuinely contribute to pure change. Okay, staying down there then. Peel the right heel up to tiptoes, and then you're going to step it to the side and step it back. Peel the left foot to tiptoes, step to the side, step back, and then stand up out of your squat. Go into your squat, breathe. You're in your sit bones, you feel the hamstrings. Peel one heel up, reach the leg to the side, reach it back, breathe. My thighs are parallel. Core connect the breath, refuse to tuck under, stretch the leg to the side, stretch back, and standing up. Down into your squat with the inhale. Now this time, pick up your heel to tiptoes, step it behind you, step it back. Step the other leg behind you, breathing out. Breathe in, step it back, exhale and stand up. You get the idea. Down into your squat, breathe. Reach the side, still keep your sit bones where they belong, which is not tucked under your bum. Step to the side, exhale up. Inhale down, are you ready for? Heel to tips up, you reach it back, you pull it forwards, keeping the shin vertical to the standing leg that's not moving, and up you stand. Inhaling down, exhale to trunk stabilise. Breathe in, breathe out, reach the leg to the side. Breathe in, pull it back. Breathe out, the tiptoe pick up, the side reach, the return version, and the standing up. Final time, go down, let's put them together. Keep the sit bones. One to the side and one behind. Changing, one to the side and one behind. I'm ready to stand up. We'll do one more just like that. Inhale, down you go. Keep those bones exposed. Exhaling, navel to spine. And exhaling, pushing backwards. Changing over, breathe. Exhale, respond, navel to spine. Chin stays nodded in. Your rib cage oblique forced to stay long. And exhaling, stand up. Ready now for rolling down. Well done for what you've just done. Exhale, the knees stay soft and you allow the rib cage to fold in half. Any tension that appeared into your lower back whilst learning, now away. You inhale and exhale, allowing the rib cage to melt in the direction of the belly button. The middle to lower back gets to stretch out, and then we'll find ourselves to your hands and knees. Once in all fours, get the armpit over the kind of heel of the hand, spread out those fingers of yours to make everything reach, and go back to the breathing and the pelvic tip and tilt. Breathe in to prepare. Breathing out, pelvic floor, navel to spine, and create that increase of a bend only from the lumbar down to the tailbone. Breathe in and then breathe out. Go the opposite range, and remember, as a flat back, you're looking to increase the length of the curve, therefore stretch out the length of the obliques. Breathe in and repeat again. Exhaling, this time see if you can travel through the spine. Pelvic floor draws up, navel draws in, and you start to roll through the spine, paying more attention to the chin pulling to the chest and the rib cage shrinking in. Stay there, breathe into the side of the rib cage and your armpits, and then breathing out, leave your head looking down as you allow the tailbone, the sit bones, to travel from sacrum through the lumbar, creating a lordosis, going through the lordosis into the thoracic spine to increase the stretch of the upper thoracic area and the stretch of your obliques. That's your hip bone to rib cage frontal. From this moment here, breath out and find your perfect neutral, which again, for the flat back, will feel really like you're sticking your bottom in the air. Okay, people, if you're comfortable where you are, we're going into plank and then out of plank, into plank by going step, step. So on the next breath out, get the rib cage to shrink. Push your right leg and ground it and press down in your hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your second leg take you. Don't tuck your bottom under. Keep your shoulder blades drawing towards each other, and then return one leg in and return the other leg in. Breathe. Exhale this time. Send your opposite side out first, so it's my left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Pelvic floor, navel to spine. Imagine you're pressing the ground away from you. You inhale, keeping the shoulder blades. Exhaling, pull that leg in and in. Breathe in. Exhale, pelvic floor, navel to spine. Going now with the right leg. Keep the chest wide open at the collarbones. Keep the rib cage connecting its length, not its shortness. Breathe and return back and back. We're going to do one more. Breathe. Find your armpits. Imagine you can push that ground away. Inhaling and exhaling. Stay for 2 more breaths. Allow the body to draw up through the pelvic floor. hollow between the hip bones without tucking your bottom under, and then return back and back. Bend at your elbows and go to your happy place. With a flat back posture, this position here is like a favoured moment. To be honest, every posture loves it, but the flat back, you find it just very comfortable. You can probably sit your bottom to your heels. If you have the increase of curve, like I have, the very opposite, I can barely get my bottom anywhere near my heels. From next position then, we take ourselves onto the front again. I work with flat backs often on the front because it forces the length of the oblique to reappear, as it were. The flat back posture's short and tight at the front and short and tight from the bum bones to the back of the knee. It's very generalist, but it's usually fairly accurate. Stretch your feet away until you feel as though you've found your longest length from the thigh bones to the pubis. Go straight into breathing. And as the first part of your setup, pull your thighs a bit wider. Your feet are possibly now about the width of your mat. Then place your hands, make sure your clothing doesn't feel bunched up. Place your hands under your shoulder area. If that's too intense because of shoulder issues, take them a little bit wider. It really doesn't matter, but the feel of your elbows pulling up is already what you're looking to achieve. Nod the chin in so that the nose points to the floor, X marks the spot, and go breathing again, and don't grip your bum cheeks. Breathe in and out, and get the sense of being grounded and melted to the ground with your core breath, finding your pelvic floor and finding your rib cage connect. Don't anticipate and create tension everywhere. That's not what this is about. You now should have a perfect sense of the pubic bone and some of the hip bones, not massively hippy, but an equal distribution for the pelvis. Also, as you're breathing in and out all the time I'm talking, the sense of the rib cage melting away from the floor and as if it could come under your waistband is also what's going on. Legs are strong and active against the band. On the next inhale then, keeping everything as described so far, push the nose forwards as though rolling a marble down the mat and follow it by allowing the rib cage to extend. Breathe in when you've got as high as you can without pulling the last rib off the floor, and exhaling, pull the rib cage down and allow the head to trace back to the nose pointing the floor. Inhale, push the nose. That's the neck extension. Exhaling, now you've got thoracic extension. The lumbar spine feels nothing really at all. Inhale and start to pull the ribs down and pull the chin and the nose. Exhale, core connect. Inhale, nudge with the nose and flow up, all on an inhale. Exhaling then, if you imagine a line going from the nose, then as you nudge that marble and you breathe in, you trace the line down towards the skirting board, and then you reverse it back as you reverse that extension back into its long line. Final time, nose nudge, marble, and extend. Check you kept pelvic floor, navel, spine, and no bum squeezing as such, and coming back down. Well done. Next position is to take your hands out as though it's the swim, but you're still going to keep your legs wide, so you may feel a bit more star-shaped. Create that fingertips to the floor as though you have a tennis ball under the palm of the hand, and stay there. Keep the nose pointing down in the direction of the mat underneath you, and keep the thighs heavy on the mat at this point and the legs reaching. Inhale as you prep, we're going for a bit of a swim. Exhale and let your left arm lift and pull in till you feel the shoulder blades draw towards each other. Breathe in. Exhale, second arm. This is now reminiscent of dart. Breathe in. Exhaling, arm goes back to where it was, and then the second arm. Inhale. Exhaling, inhale. Second arm, breathe out. Remember of not gripping with your glutes, people. This is trunk stability. forcing the oblique to work in its longer line, keeping the chin nodded in. Now do a breath out and go arm, arm, inhale, breath out, go, arm returns back and back, inhaling. Exhale, arm, arm, it's like you're now in dart through the upper shoulder blade area and coming back and back. Once more, exhale, don't grip the bum. Stay heavy in the quads, stay heavy sacrum to pubis, pubic bone to hip bones, and then go back and back. Now, if done properly, we're going to have a little rest. Go back to your happy place. When done properly, that will take a huge amount of energy to not simply clench everything under and shorten the oblique when we're actually trying to lengthen it. The final position we're going to go back into is trying to get your legs to move. So take yourself back down again. So swimming usually has legs and arms. It matters to me that you keep your reach. Now just a bit of an adaptation. If for some reason this position with arms reaching is too intense, then allow the hands to come like a W position, hands as wide as the elbows, elbows about armpit height. If you're happy to have your arms reaching but not the shoulders still need to be stable and drawn away from the neck. Okay, here we cue it. Breathing out, melt as it were in the direction of the ground, draw the pelvic floor up, stop the grippy bum. Let's get the legs going first. One leg reaches and fraction lifts. Inhale, exhale, leg lengthens, lifts and lowers on the inhale. Exhaling. I've kept the legs open to give space to the lumbar spine if indeed it feels as though it hasn't got that space. You've got the chance to think through the back of the thigh, and the pelvic shape shouldn't change because the thigh bones are moving. Exhaling up. Now stay with your left leg up right and your right leg down. Breathe in, exhale, exchange. Inhale. So the legs are now exchanging. They're reaching and swimming. Okay? Reaching and swimming. Your hip bones feel as though they know where the ground is. The pubis knows where the ground is. And the lordosis is happily stabilised through the frontal muscles, the back of the hamstring part of the glute, and obviously some of the back extensors, but you don't feel the back extensors as the primary contribution. Let's see if we can take you swimming. So keep the left leg off the floor, and your right arm off. Breathe in and exhale, exchange. That's that diagonal relationship. Breathe in, exhale. All the while, keep the nose pointing down, but not resting, obviously. Breathe your rib cage to melt. See if you can create a rhythm where it's an inhale, swim, swim, exhale, swim, swim. Inhaling and exhaling. Slow it down to check the right things are happening. Last swim, swim. Bring your arms by your sides and allow the head to go to one side. Let the legs feel relaxed and chilled, and go back to breathing in and out. You're now releasing the tension that would rightly accrue around the upper back and perhaps the back of your neck, depending on how weak you are there. Allow the head then go to the other side, same thinking. As you do the head to one side, allow the sensation of melting into the ground, and you'll realise that so much of your body stays very tense. And because it's so tense, you can't cue the right things to change you. When you're lying down, the learning curve of melt really matters. And what will happen is your skeletal form will naturally sink and settle where it belongs. The only reason you wouldn't do this is if it's just so tight on your lumbar spine, it's too intense. Whichever way though, we've finished that moment now. You're going to put your hands under your shoulders, pull yourself back and into that happy place again. Reach your arms away. Take some huge breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth to lengthen, create space and hydration to the spine, the joints that you've been working through, and then come up onto your knees. The final moment for your workout as 1 to 3, is the backwards lean. I'm going to see if we can use some of the extension of the upper spine that we found on the ground in our kind of kneeling up airborne shape. First things first then, open through the collarbones, take the hands by the sides as though you're a soldier, okay? You're breathing in. Inhaling and exhaling, you will start to lean backwards away from the front and then reach your arms back. Now look up to the ceiling and pull your shoulder blades together, breathe in, extension of the thoracic spine, and then return back and kneel up. Showing from the side again, breathe. Exhale, backwards lean. Inhale, open your chest to ceiling without the lumbar spine taking all the load. Reach for the heels if you can to. Exhale, close the rib cage and come back again, back to your normal neutral line. We'll do it once more. Inhale to lengthen up in your kneeling up position. Breath out to core connect. Breath in to lift the sternum, breastbone. Smile to the sky area, as it were. Open through the collarbones. Keep pelvic floor nailed to spine. And then exhaling, chin, head forwards, ribs, ribs, ribs. And to finish off, nod the chin. And make sure you create a stretch. When the posture starts to change, it gets tired very quickly in the postural muscles. It's not wrong, as long as there's no sharp pain, this, that and the other, you know it's when it's muscular. And it should be immediately settled by doing the opposite range. Okay people, that is all we have time for in this Flatback series. Obviously over the period of the next weeks as we get this video library going, we will add on to each of the posture basics. You've done a basic posture awareness for the sway back, the kyphotic, the lordotic and the flat back. You're allowed to do all the videos and play with them all because actually the kyphosis video is relevant to everyone. The sway back could get an awful lot done by doing the flat back because the sway back often ends up flattening at the pelvis. Whichever way, if you need more information about your particular posture and you're unsure of anything, then by all means speak to me in sessions or text me, email me, and I'll be certain to sort you out. Take care, stay well, and here's to COVID finding an end one day. Goodbye for now.